Hi, 7th grade. Let's continue in your chapter. This is Martinez, by the way. Hope you guys are doing well. So we are on chapter 6. We are on lesson 5. Moving on. This one's called actually more. Two-step equations. So we're advancing on how to do two-step equations. When you're an 8th grader, you'll see 3-step equations. Some of them will even have 4 steps, but you will see today more 2-step equations, as in different things to do, not just division and addition. Yeah, so we don't have any vocabulary, but your focus is solve 2-step equations of the form P parenthesis X plus Q close parenthesis equals to R. 7E E4 and then 7E E4A. Okay, so this is what you're gonna be focusing on solving. So let's get started. Example 1. And remember, you're always more, you can always stop the video whenever you need to copy notes, to go on your own pace. Please do so. Example 1, solve 3 parenthesis X plus 5 close parenthesis equals to 45. Okay, so we have something outside the parentheses, we have something inside the parentheses, and we have an equation, meaning that it has the equal symbol. So what we're gonna do is that usually on PEMDAS you have to do parentheses first, right? But in this case you cannot do parentheses first because you can't combine a constant with a variable. So we're gonna do distributive property. So step 1, distributive property. So that means that we're going to multiply the 3 times the x and 3 times 5. So 3 times x is 3x. And then the plus just follows along. 3 times 3 times 5 equals to 15. Okay? And then the rest of it just follows along. Now, this looks more familiar, right? This is kind of like what you were doing on lesson 4. So now that we have our coefficient right here, but we also have a constant, we need to put the constant on one side of the equation. So let's move this plus 15 to the right side by doing the opposite of PEMDAS. So instead of plus is a subtraction, minus 15, you have to do balance and check, which means that you have to do it to the left and right. So step 2, subtract, because the opposite of plus is negative. And then step 3, okay, so this means it's gone because plus 15 minus 15 is 0. 3x equals to 5 minus 5 equals to 0. 4 minus 1 equals to 3. Okay, now step 3, opposite. Remember, you have a coefficient and then a variable. So they're next to each other. That means multiplication. The opposite is division. You have to do it to both sides, and you're doing it with the coefficient, which whatever number it's in front of the letter, because you want the letter to be alone. When you divide 3 into 3, is just 1x. And then 3 goes into 30 10 times. Okay, so step 3 was division, because the opposite of multiplication is division. Cool. So you can always check your answer. So if we go back to the original, so this is the check part. 3 parentheses, and then instead of putting x, you will put 10 plus 5. Now if you were to follow PEMDAS regularly, because now we have an actual constant instead of a variable, 10 plus 5 equals to 15. 3 times 15 equals to 45, and 45 does equal to 45. So that's your short part. Okay, let's do one more example like that, and then I can give you some to do on your own. Example 2. 5 parentheses n minus 2 close parentheses equals to negative 30. Okay, same situation, distributive property. So step 1, distributive property, 5 times n, and then 5 times negative 2. 5 times n is just 5n. 5 times negative 2 equals to negative 10, right? Or you can just do 5 times 2 equals to 10, and then because it's a subtraction, you just put the subtraction symbol. Okay, that just stays untouched. Now, on this one, we don't have addition like we had on the first example. We have subtraction. So the opposite of subtraction is addition. So we're going to add 10. The 5n follows. And on this case, if you remember, when they're opposite signs, you subtract and you keep the sign of the bigger number. So you're subtracting 10 from 30, which is 20, and you keep in the sign of the bigger number. 30 is technically the bigger number, so it's negative 20. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and just move this over here. Okay, so 5n equals to negative 20. Okay, coefficient and variable. We divide by the number in front of the variable, in front of the letter, because we want the letter alone. That means this is gone, leaving you with n. 5 goes into 20 4 times, and then a positive divided into a negative equals to a negative. And again, you can check and figure out that you will be correct. Because you are going in your own pace, please stop the video whenever you need to. Okay? Now, the ones that I want you to do at home on your own are the following. For letter A, 2 parentheses x plus 4 equals to 20. Oh, that's a 4. I'm sorry. Letter B, 3 parentheses x minus 6 equals to 12. Letter C, negative 7 parentheses 6 plus d equals to 49. Okay, make sure you do this at your own pace at home. Remember that I usually do give you the answer, so please, if you need to put pause on the video right now, it's a good idea. Okay, now for the answer, just for the sake of time, on letter A, you will distribute the 2. That will give you 2x plus 8 equals to 20. You would subtract the 8 from both sides, giving you 2x equals to 12. You would have divided by 2, leaving you with x equals to 6. Okay? Now for B, you would have distributed 3 into both of them, so giving you 3x minus 3 times 6, which is 18, equals to 12. And subtraction, so now it will be addition. addition of 18, giving you 3x equals to 30. Okay, and then you would have divided by 3, giving you x equals to 10. Okay, this one looks a little bit different, huh? Hopefully you didn't get distracted by that. It's negative times a positive equals to a negative, and then negative 7 times 6 is just 42. Okay, negative times a positive equals to a negative 7d. Okay, this stays alone. Okay, now you have to get rid of this part. It's a negative. The opposite of negative is 42. Positive 42. For positive 42. Gone, giving you negative 7d. And then 49 plus 42, so 1, 9. Okay. You divide by negative 7, giving you d equals to 13, and because this is a positive and this is a negative, negative 13. Okay, cool. Let's get into a different type of two-step equations. One that is, I know, not so friendly, but you guys need to learn it. So please just look at the instructions, put pause, repeat, rewatch the section if you need to. Okay, so example 3. 2 over 3, parentheses, n, plus 6 equals to 10. Yes, you're gonna see some fractions, but that's okay. Please just repeat the section on your video and then you'll understand. So, you actually do have to do the same thing. Actually, you can answer this by a different way. So, because right now you have 2 over 3 multiplied times something going on inside the parentheses, right? What you can do is that you can divide both this whole equation and this whole equation by the reciprocal, okay? You're going to turn it into a reciprocal. But what I mean is that what if you divide this by 2/3 and the right side by 2/3? This is gone, leaving you with n plus 6. And you can also do this on the other examples that I put. You can divide the left and the right side by the number outside parentheses, okay? So there's 2 ways of doing this. Okay, now, when you have this, it's just like the lesson, previous lesson. You keep, change, flip. So you keep the 10, put a 1 under it. You change from division to multiplication, and then you flip the 2 over 3 to 3 over 2. Okay? Now you do multiplication like you usually do. So n plus 6 equals to 10 times 3, which is 30. Now 1 times 2 equals to 2. This can simplify itself by 2. 2 fits into 30 15 times. Okay, now you can isolate the variable by taking off that 6. So the opposite of addition is subtraction. Okay, this is gone, leaving you with n equals to 15 minus 6, which is just 9. Okay, so again, you can do this method on the other examples that I give you. You're dividing instead of distributive properties. So if you're going to do that, you will have to do left and right division by whatever is outside the fraction, the parentheses. If you felt like you like the other method instead, then you would have distributed this, okay, by multiplying 2/3 to both of them. And then of course, at the end of it, you will have to do subtraction of a fraction to the right side. But it depends which method you like. Sometimes it just helps to do one method for one of them and then a different method for the other one. So let me show you how to do this method, but with decimals, okay? So example, oh, that's a hard color to see. Example 4. 0.2 parentheses z minus 3 equals to negative 10. Okay. Again, you can do this with both of the types of examples that I'm giving you. You can divide it by 0.2, 0.2. Okay, this is gone because multiplication, division is the opposite. So now you only have c minus 3 equals to, over here, 0.2 goes outside the house, negative 10 goes inside. Okay, so remember to do decimal division, you move the decimal one place. You have a calculator at home, so you can just simply divide negative 10 by 0.2. And then you move it one place. So one place because of the outside needs to become a whole number, and then the inside just has to do the same thing. So instead of having negative 10, I have negative 100. Okay, the 2 doesn't fit into 1, it fits into 10 5 times. So minus 10, oh, and I'm gonna get rid of the negative section actually. Negative and a positive equals to a negative. Okay, now. 0, 0, 2 fits into 0, 0 times. So 2 fits into 150 times. Negative 50 because it was a negative and a positive. Okay, now you have c minus 3, so the opposite is c plus 3. Plus 3. This is gone, giving you c equals to negative and a positive. So again, they're opposite signs. So you subtract. So 3 minus 50 is actually 47. And then you keep the sign of the bigger number. So negative 50 will be the bigger number. Okay. Again, you can do this method, or you can do the other method that I showed you at the beginning with the example 1 and 2. Cool. So let's give you some examples. Some problems for you to work out your own. Remember, I do go over them once I'm done, and you can always put pause on the video so that way you can have it as long as you need to do them at home, okay? Or you can just see me do them and write them down as actual examples for you. So for letter E, 1/4 d minus 3 equals to negative 15. Okay. For letter F, 0.75 parentheses 6 plus d equals to 12. And then letter G, parentheses, they're throwing this one a little bit backwards. Y plus 3, 5 over 9 equals to 40. Okay? Awesome. So go ahead and put pause on the video, work on them at home, take your own time, check how long it takes you, it's stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the answers. Remember, you can always put pause and just take as long as you need to, and then check the answers whenever you feel like you're ready. So in this case, you would have divided the left and the right side by 1/4 using the keep, change, flip rule, giving you d minus 3 equals to negative 15 over 1 times 4 over 1. Okay. Then you would have simplified this situation. So negative times a positive equals to a negative. 15 times 4 equals to 60. And then because both of them will be 1 times 1 is just 1, it's just negative 60. Okay, now because it's d minus 3 plus 3 plus 3, leaving you with d equals 2. You subtract, so 57 negative, because that's the bigger number sign. Okay, in this case, you can do distributive property, or you can just use the other method. I think the other method goes a little bit faster when it comes to fractions and decimals. So if we do that, we would have divided the left and the right side by 0.75, giving me 6 plus d on the left side, right? Because this would have been gone, equals to, I'm gonna go ahead and do this a little bit over here. So 75, and then I would have added 2 decimal places. So 75 into 1,200. Okay, so 75 doesn't fit into 1 or 12. It does fit into 120 one time only. So 75, 5, 45, and then we'll lower the 0. Sorry, you go ahead and do that at home with your calculator. I'm trying to figure out again how many times does 450 divided by 75. So it actually fits 6 times. And you're left with 0. Okay, so 16. So right here is 16. 12 divided by 0.75 is 16. So now you have 6 plus d. So the opposite of positive 6 is negative 6. Technically subtraction. D gets lower. Doesn't matter the plus. 16 minus 6 is just 10. Okay, on this one, yes, they did switch the sides of where they had the multiplication, but it's still a multiplication going on. So you can still do division of 5 over 9, giving you just y plus 3 equals to, keep, change, flip, 40 over 1 times 9 over 5. Okay, so y plus 3 equals to 40 times 9, or 4 times 9 is 36, and then you just add the 0, and then 1 times 5 equals to 5, and then 5 fits into 360, 72 times. So now you have y plus 3 equals to 72. Plus 3 minus 3 minus 3, opposite again, y equals to 72 minus 3 equals to 69. Okay, kiddos, remember to watch the video again if you need help on anything. Good luck. Miss you guys. Hope you have a good day.